will take an encounter for you to rediscover who you are in God. Because your environment will want to define you. Your occupation will want to define you. Because you studied for 7 years, you became a lawyer. They will now tell you to lie in court so that you can win the case. Because if you don't win the case, you will never become a son. And because you want to become a son, you will turn lying to your occupation. And then you think you became relevant when you became a son. No, you actually became irrelevant. Because you are judging yourself from the realm where realities does not have a root. You may be a doctor, and then because you want to make quick money, you now begin to specialize in abortion. Meanwhile, you are supposed to be a gynecologist to bring life into the world. You will pervert your calling, and you now begin to kill life because of 50,000 naira. And then you say, this job, this profession is good. No, you are dead. It will take an encounter for you to say no, even if you were to be thrown into fire. You know, the 3 Hebrew boys were about to be cast into fire in an era where people feel they are important when a king smiles at them. They say, oh king, we will not be careful to answer you in this matter. We will not be careful. We will not even try to respect you. On this subject, we will not bow. And the king was shocked. Are there people who can disobey the king? There are people that have had encounters. Their value system is not from earth, it's defined from heaven. And when they check from heaven, even though they are walking as slaves on earth, they are princes in the spirit. So their present circumstance cannot define them. They may not have what to eat on earth. Don't think they are beggars. Because when you check them out in the spirit, you will discover that this man, these kinds of people, they are gods walking on the earth. We are not defined by our environment. We have seen reality from another ecosystem. The light of heaven has shone upon us. And so we don't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. We will not bow. And the king looked at them and said they should hit the fire 7 times. If you have no encounter, you will change your mind. I assure you. Because the kind of Christianity we practice now, they tell you that when you serve God well, things will work. I came to tell you that things may not work. Because sometimes your ability to serve God well is actually what is working. Because you may be the only person that is standing for God. And in the realm of God, God may be bragging with you. So the idea is not even what will come to you because you obey God. The idea is that you are part of the remnant that are able to stand. You know, when Lucifer came to heaven and was accusing the sons of men, he thought he had dominated the earth. And he said, I've walked to and fro the earth. There's no man there anymore. I've taken over the earth. And God said, have you considered my servant Job? Have you checked Job out? I have one man that I can beat my chest on. So it's not about what happens. They tell you, if you don't cheat, one day you may be blessed. One day you become rich. It is never about becoming rich. Because you don't need God to become rich. The richest men in the world are godless men. They don't even have a religion. The testimony of witness that you sustain is a memorial in the spirit. But it will take an encounter for you to say, if I perish, I perish. A generation needs to rise that know God by encounters. So that their pursuit of God is not about bread and wine. Whether I walk or it does not walk, we will stand where we are standing. I have learned how to abound and to abase. I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. It takes encounter for you to sustain such depth. Do you know these boys were actually cast into the fire? Imagine what they will be thinking when they were about throwing them. They will now say, Jesus, did they lie to us? They told us that if we believe, you will intervene. And Jesus didn't intervene. Jesus was waiting for them in the fire. But they have already passed their verdict. For us, to live is Christ. To die is gain. If you don't have encounter, your Christianity will not have root. This is the root dimension of Christianity. And so I told us that every prominent figure in scripture was the product of encounter.